What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Rise of the Machines. I am Chris Eaton from the Fatman Nation,
What's up, everyone? I'm Benny from Bionic Benny on all platforms.
and we just recorded for 20 minutes, and I didn't hit the goddamn record button. I feel like an idiot. But
That's
just to
fine.
kind of get you guys up to speed, I took my first trip in a wheelchair on an airplane, and that was it was difficult, but it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. Um, I just kept thinking about Benny. Honestly, I kept thinking about your videos, and I'm like, man, Benny took a train here, to get on a plane, and Benny did
I,
this, and Benny did that.
I forgot, but yeah, the from my car ride to my friend's house. Usually, my friend brings me to a BART, and because I could go straight shot and park at the airports more than half the time,
Right,
but I could save money and put my car in a safer place. I would say because
right.
airport parking is that horrible, but yeah. My friend would bring me to the BART station. That's what we call BART. I think you guys have some subways and stuff out that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So then from there we would take Bart up to his job. His job is in San Francisco. He gets off in San Francisco, and then I get off at the BART station that transfers over to a mini train, that goes to all the what do you call it, the stops for the different flights and stuff like that. And
And
then
do
yeah,
you fly out of San Francisco or Oakland?
majority of the time I do Oakland. I not for a lot of shows. Majority of the time San Francisco for like Chicago or for Animal Con and all that. So yeah, I majority of the time at San Francisco for all my flights. But yeah, I back in the day, like I said, I would ask the people to push me from the gate or when you get in there, and then because
Right,
it's a lot if you have a lot of luggage, if you're carrying a lot,
right,
and then pushing you all the way to the back. But then usually you have to wait on them. So if I'm running late already, now I'm strong enough just to push myself through. But and
right,
they'll skip me, like I said, occasionally they'll see me if I'm pushing myself. They'll see me like, oh, pass through here, go through this way, and they'll give me a little bit of a cut. Most of the time, about
right.
60% of the time, and then But yeah, usually you have to ask for the person when you get in. Did you have to ask for the person when you got there, or did you have somebody
Uh,
with you that pushed you?
I had somebody with me, but I'm to that point where I kind of refuse to get pushed. Like I don't want to look like the old guy in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah,
So basically, what I do is have my backpack on the back of the chair,
yeah,
and I wheel myself everywhere. However, I didn't realize how big Oakland or the Atlanta airport was,
yeah.
and halfway through Atlanta, the airport there, my arms felt like jello. Okay. So I asked the guy that was with me, I was like, load up your stuff on my back and just push me. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
So we did that for the first time. And, but normally I'm against getting pushed. Now,
Yeah, yeah, me too.
the thing that I don't like on this new wheelchair is, the grips that you wheel
Yeah.
yourself forward with,
Yeah.
these are chromed out. Okay.
Dude. Oh, good thing you brought this up. I have that same issue with my new one too. These ones, like the one inside the house, are soft or like plastic. Those ones are
Right.
chrome, so it
Right.
slides and it's a different.
I,
There's no
I
grip to
don't
it.
like the chrome.
I don't either.
So
I
what I
hate.
had to do was I had to wear gloves, you know.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got these. My cousin picked them up for me. They're these motorcycle slash fighting gloves,
Yeah.
and I always say it's like it got the kung fu grip on it, right? So I put on those gloves, and then you could grip the chrome really easy and get things done that way. But without the gloves, it's brutal. Pushing yourself on the chrome handles.
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely don't like that at
There's
all.
not enough grip, I'd say, and even like if you're trying to go downhill and trying to resist it a little bit,
Yeah,
there's not enough grip, so it just slides. So a little more risk to it.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. Well, the only stoppers it has is the spacers in between. So you got to make sure that you're stopping with those.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um, so that's the one time we had. I had somebody push me there. Um, but overall, getting to Atlanta it almost felt like I was wheeling for about a mile
Yeah.
inside, right, in the same building, right? Then you get to the train, okay, that you got to take for, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. Get to another building where you got to wheel for like another mile, okay. Then you get to another train that you take to the car rental place, okay.
Yeah.
So that took about an hour, or altogether. But I was
This is
glad
after
I
you
was
landed.
this after I landed. What and this is the first time I was ever the last guy out on the plane. You know,
Okay.
so and
But how
yeah,
was your flight total? Like, I mean, how did your whole flight experience go though?
it went okay. If I thankfully it was a 2 hour flight. If I had to use the bathroom, there was going to be a problem. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was in row 5, but even hopping that 10 or 12 feet to the
Yeah. It's
bathroom,
still. Yeah.
I don't know how I would have did with that. So I made sure not to drink anything at all.
Yeah.
Um, if it was a flight to LA, there would have to be some discussions going on.
It would be a little rough, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. It was definitely, but overall, the flight wasn't bad at all. I mean, we had a smooth flight there. Um, we got there within 2 hours. I would say that we got to our destination within 4 hours of me leaving my house. All right, so that
Gotcha.
was
So did you use the bathroom you used the bathroom before you went on the plane, though, right? So that way you didn't
right.
have
I
to.
used the
Yeah.
bathroom at the airport.
At the airport.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then as soon as I got out, I used the bathroom again at the airport. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but overall, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Going through security took a little bit longer than I thought, which I thought it would be the opposite. I thought we would kind of just fly right through it,
Yeah.
but that wasn't the case either. So it's a little
Y-
bit
y-
different your first time going through in the wheelchair.
Plus, they got to call someone up for you, right? They can't just have anybody pass you through, right? They have to call a special officer or special
Right.
person to really check you out, right? So you have to wait on that person on top of everything, right? So, like the person you usually come with, they could be ahead of you because they could go through that tunnel or that little
Oh,
circle.
they're way ahead of me. They were
Yeah,
sitting
and then
down. They were sitting down waiting for me.
yeah, and then you have to go get. You were saying that you got patted down, right?
I got patted down, and I basically had my ass swabbed for bomb residue and gun residue.
Yeah,
And I was just like, "What is this? Like, I never did this before." Um, but yeah, they basically swab you down. They
they
make
check.
they run their stuff over your sneakers. They don't make you take your shoe off, which was nice. Okay,
Yeah, they just
but
check you
I
for. They check your palms. They go like this in
right,
your palms, right? And I'm like, half the time because this hand's all broken, I can't bend it, so I'm like this trying to show
right,
my
right,
palm and all
right,
that.
keep it up, yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, just swab the dang thing, and then yeah,
yeah,
they're checking for like the bomb residue or something like that, right? Or
right.
gun residue, gunpowder.
Apparently, we are a higher threat level in the wheelchair. Okay,
I said I don't understand, but maybe it's happened in the past, or yeah, of course they probably have to check it somehow.
it probably has, but I totally thought to myself, "Don't make an Al Qaeda joke. Don't make an Al Qaeda joke. Don't make it, because otherwise we would have been stuck. So, uh,
Yeah,
so overall, the flight was good. Now, uh, the show in Atlanta that we went to, I went to the Southeast Reptile Show.
yeah,
That was a great show, and basically we had a booth there. We were selling these shirts for disabled veterans at the booth. It was a great show. A lot of great animals, a lot of great people. I forgot how much. I forgot how many great people are in this hobby because I
yeah, and
normally
like
focus on the bad ones.
yeah, and Bob had all the top vendors there, right? So like
Yeah,
as I was saying before, like he didn't like every vendor that I saw there that was like the top vendors, the most professional vendors. Like it was like people like you, I think you mentioned before. It's like it was like somebody he would have. It was like one of his parties, or like something.
right. It was like basically he invited his friends to his city for the weekend. and,
Exactly. You know.
and built a show around it.
Yeah.
Like Nova was there, uh, Ball Python Shed was there. There was a lot of huge people there. Um, the nice thing is that I'm friends with a lot of these bigger people, so it was nice just to hang out with them.
Yeah,
You
exactly,
know,
right? You're seeing friends that you see everybody everywhere you look is somebody that you're friends with or you know that recognize you, and you just feel comfortable in that environment. And it looked like there was a lot of space in between vendors. I feel like he didn't overcrowd it too much. Where for some people like us, like we have a lot more space, and I didn't know how it was with the turnout. Was it too much for you to move around? Where you like was it hard to get
he
through?
was he had 16-foot end caps, so each of the aisles with vendors on it was contained within 16 feet.
Gotcha.
But then he had probably just about that much space in between rows,
Okay.
right? So it wasn't like a Tinley
Yeah.
where it vacuums down to or bottlenecks down to 3 feet, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Where we get stuck, it could be a good bad thing, right? Because Tinley's, it has a lot of vendors, right? And that's the whole reason why people like going there is because they like to see a good diverse, with the vendors and all that. But sometimes it's just, that's not what's always needed, right? Sometimes it's about quality. It's about, just about the people that you bring, like the environment
Right.
and all that
Have
stuff.
you ever been to a Daytona reptile show?
Never.
Okay. Well, Daytona is famous for having spaces in between the aisles that you could drive a tank through. Okay.
Okay.
This was not that big, but it was big enough to be very comfortable. And
Yeah.
and he still had, I think, between 12 and 15,000 people through the door. And it was still very comfortable to just weave in and out of people and get everything going. Um, Going to the bathroom, going outside to grab, some fresh air. Um, it was really easy, and the people there were, some people I haven't seen in years,
Yeah.
so it was definitely nice to see everybody. I told everybody, I'm like, make sure you don't cry when you see me in the wheelchair. Okay, it's okay. All right, don't
Yeah.
worry about it. And but there were a lot of people that looked at me. They looked at me a little different, but they still kind of got that I was the same dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Definitely.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
because like I was saying, like going around the shows, like, that's one thing I always kind of get to think about because I do get anxiety right at times. No matter like let's say Tinley for example, that's one of my favorite shows. Right, not only because I'm a good friend of all of everybody that works there. I love that show. That and Super Show are my two favorite shows. Right, I mean, of course they're the biggest shows, but I'm good friends with the promoters of both.
Right.
And then but like with Tinley, it gets like packed where it can be beneficial for the attendees. We want people to go to those shows, right? But for us, it becomes where we can't squeeze past people, right? Like how most people can, right? They can just go
Right.
like this and weave
It
through
goes
people.
sideways. Yeah.
We're back there. We have to wait for a couple people to move, and make space. So it could take us literally just to get down one aisle. It could take 30 minutes if no
Yeah.
one's really moving. On the busiest day of Tinley, I think it's Saturday, maybe in morning time or whatever, but it depends. I know which sides to avoid at Tinley. Do
Right.
you have that? Do you have that? You had no issues there. We had to avoid certain sections.
No,
Was there
not at
like
all.
sections with? Like, it's a lot of the time. It's certain vendors like Justin's area, or you. I just know what areas to kind of avoid during certain times.
Right. Well. See, the nice thing is that for the bigger people that I'm friends with, I would just
Yeah,
roll into the back of their
the booth.
table. I
That's
would
what I
just
do
roll,
too.
I
I
just
to avoid a lot of things. I go to the back of the table and I'll weave through, and that's what's nice about being friends with everybody.
exactly because like I've known Justin for 12, 15 years now. I'm not going
Yeah,
to wait on line to say hello to him. I'm going to
yeah,
go right to the back and just hang out with the rest of the people in his crew.
yep,
But overall, I had a great time. Now I got, as you could probably hear, I got sick as hell, and I'm still
yeah,
fighting off the residual coughing and sniffles and everything else, but I still wouldn't have changed anything,
So,
man. It was a
do you
great
think
time.
that we I mean, see, the thing is, I'm out. I think I've been to more shows. I've been out like at more. I think I go out to more shows than
You
you
have,
do.
yeah.
So like I think I'm more what do you call it? I'm out in the an environment of getting sick. I forgot the right terms for that, but like I'm out there, and you think that you got sick because that you don't go out as often,
Oh, a
and
hundred
you now
percent.
then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're going to a show like that, you're gonna get sick a little bit easier versus if you're out going out and about more often. Um, you think
It,
that happens to a lot of people in our condition that we stay inside too often and we don't get outside, and then all of a sudden we do go outside, we get prone to getting sick very easy.
I think that's exactly what happened. I basically hold myself up in my
Yeah,
condo, and anything that I want, I get delivered here.
yeah, exactly.
So my interaction with the outside world is very limited.
Limited. Yeah, but also, can I say something? Not nothing to do with age, right? But a lot of people, as they get to a certain age, they don't want to go out as often. They don't really. They would
Oh,
rather just stay home. So it's actually you saves you money, but same time you're kind of like there's a lot to see out in life, right? Outside of your house, right? That's where
right,
you
right, right.
and another thing is your emotions. With um what is it called? What's the freaking word? Well, yeah, you just get caught up inside your house. You can go through all the motions. Where if you go outside, you get that natural sunlight and all that. So that's where
Oh,
I
oh
think
yeah. I mean, just
depression. I don't know. I can't
oh,
think of
oh
depression.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get
Well,
caught up in depression, your emotions, everything. So going out and about, you can get sick, but also it can benefit you from your mental health and all that.
yeah. Well, I guess it all depends on the personality, right? Because I spent my life around people. All right.
Yeah,
So I've played music for a living for nearly three-quarters of my life. So I was always around a
yeah,
lot of people all the time. And
yeah,
then, when I hit about 40, 43, I was like, yeah, I really don't like people that much anymore, So me being home, even when I first got the amputation,
yeah,
I was not depressed at all. Okay, but like I do very well on my own. I also do very well with taking charge of a project and getting the project done and feeling a sense of satisfaction from getting the project done, right? And
yeah.
and if I have to do that myself, I don't mind doing that. Now, luckily, in today's day and age, you could do like we're doing now, and you're
Talk
doing
about
things
it too.
with people, just not in person, right? But overall, um, I don't really get depressed being here alone the majority of the time. Um, and my girlfriend is out of state, so it's long distance, so I only see her for maybe a week, a month. But the
Yeah,
rest of the time, I'm here alone, and I don't hate it. However, that's probably did was one of the reasons that I got sick is because I'm not out in the real world,
as often.
time, and I totally forgot about boosting up your immune system before you go to
Yeah.
these shows and doing all these things. I have another show on Saturday that we're doing for this benefit.
Well, hopefully you don't. Well, knock on wood, but you just got sick, so I think you'll be good to go for the next show now, at least, right?
Hopefully, that's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping. Okay.
but unless it could prolong it now, but
Well, that would be the worst. Like
yeah, yeah, that'll be the worst.
if I had to come back and spend next week sick and dying, doing all this too. Um,
But
but
yeah, that's
overall,
that.
even with the being sick, I'm still like so happy that I got out and went to a show and got to see people that I haven't seen in a long time. Okay.
Yeah, because like even me, like I go getting outside the house, like just get it's I go to the gym, and then that that'll keep me from getting sick, and
Right.
and all that. So like all these little like trips I do to the grocery store and all that, and that'll help me boost my immune system and all that.
Right.
But
Well, the
yeah,
people too, getting to see everybody that you haven't seen for years is a great part of it. Now, you got to get used to the couple of looks that you'll get, because
Right.
obviously this was the first time that anybody, on a major show saw me in a wheelchair. And I really didn't want to go to a show in America in the wheelchair,
Yeah.
but I just figured the leg isn't progressing as quickly as I want to, the prosthetic, and
Yep. It's a slow
you're
process,
gonna
like I
miss
told you.
like if you don't do these things, you're gonna miss out on certain experiences and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that I went to this one, and again, I'm doing another show this Saturday, and I'm going to be pretty happy that I'm there again. So I'm definitely falling out of my dislike the majority of people and
Yeah.
falling back into the let's hang out and make new memories. Doesn't matter if you're in a chair; they're just going to be different memories from this point on.
So speaking about going to shows, I went to the Super Show. I don't think we went over this in January. So the January Reptile Super Show
In Pomona.
in Pomona. So I am in California, but I'm in Northern California. So that's still about a 6 hour drive for me because California is pretty long, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm near the Bay Area. So like I'm going to that. I drove. I flew there last year. Well, I drove. I think twice to once to Anaheim, once to the Pomona, and then I flew one time to Pomona. But from LA to the airport to Pomona is still like an hour in traffic, and then if
Right.
you're Ubering, you're paying a lot for that Uber. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna go, I called around to all my friends, my local friends, like who's going, so I could just go with them. But a lot of the guys that were going or would go, or they would want me to drive, right? So I was like, you know what? And I was like, I was up in there about it, and there was like a last minute decision. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna go, right? But the bad thing is, it happened during the fires, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a bad decision on my part, but it was like I heard they were saying that it was okay and it was safe on the Pomona side of the show. So, but to make that drive alone with the amputee, our condition, it can be very uncomfortable. You don't usually I have somebody driving long drives like that for me, or we'll switch or something like that. So slowly dependent on me. And whenever I have a trip, whenever you say trip, or if it's like going to the airport for anything, I don't get good sleep, right? So I try to sleep the night before and I
Right.
couldn't. I got 1 hour of sleep, maybe two. I don't think I got quite 2 hours of sleep. And I was like, I'm gonna go. And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning here. I went to make it there at least an hour into the show. I knew I wouldn't get there right when it started because I still had to go to my hotel and stuff like that.
Right.
And a good reason why I went to the show is because my good friend Adam Wickens that showed up there from
Oh yeah,
Canada.
Adam. Yeah.
So I'm good friends with Adam, and he's the reason why. Because I can see a lot of local people here, right? But you don't see those Canada people too often.
Right.
And so I flew, and he didn't go to Animal Con this year, or last year, so I missed him to see him then. So I end up making that drive last minute, and man, I was tired, and I was like, oh, why did I do this? I was like, it was the windiest weekend too, and that's why
Oh,
the reason why those fires were, becoming more and more because of the wind. And I
did
get
you
there.
did you do PCH all the way down
What do you mean PCH?
Pacific Coast Highway?
Oh no, I just went five.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I just five all the way.
Like Grapevine.
Yeah, yeah, Grapevine. Yeah, exactly. Grapevine all the way down. But then they were saying that the route I was taking was like high winds. Don't go this route. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I hit my truck. It feels all the wind. So I'm like sleepy and like I had to stay on the phone with a friend to keep me up. I was like, why
Right.
am I doing this for It's just the things I do for reptile shows, like the things I like, because that's the only things that I was having FOMO. So I don't know if you know what FOMO is, like fear of missing
Yeah.
out.
Pyramid. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had FOMO watching people set up and people were there. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go, right? I gotta do it. And I get there and I'm like falling asleep partially. And I'm like, this is dangerous for everybody, right? Like this is not just I'm putting it's not myself in danger, but everyone that's driving around me, right? Um, so I get there, I check in, and I get to the show, and I'm like excited that I made it because I parked at the hotel that I went to a cheaper hotel around I think it was probably a 10-minute drive away, and I Ubered to the event. And then,
Right.
of course, I see Rami there. Rami's one of the coolest people ever. If you ever, I don't know if you ever met Rami.
I never
He's the
got to meet Rami yet, so but I
very
plan.
good guy, very cool guy, man. I'm talking about like he's like, hey, I was telling him I was gonna buy my ticket. He's like, no, man, not you, blah blah blah. I was like, man, I'm trying to support the show, like, and all that. And yeah, so I get to the show. I start trying to sneak up on my because a lot of people didn't know I was coming, right? I try
Right.
to make it a secret. I try to be cool, and like that's the things I like to do is be a surprise.
Right.
And I get to the show. I'm seeing all my friends, Brian Cusco, Adam Wickens, like those guys are. I would say I'm close to. The majority of those people. Well, there was actually quite a few people that I saw there. So then I do the show, and a lot has happened throughout the show. Right? We go to the dinner. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Like a lot of people, like I didn't know how I was gonna get around, but I literally don't have to say. I don't have to really plan my trips half the time once I'm there. I have people like, oh, you're gonna come with us. You're gonna do this. Like,
Right.
do you
Right.
know Garrett from Reach Out
Oh,
Reptiles?
reach it. Yeah. Very. Very
So
well.
he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he told me he's like, you're gonna go with me because we were trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to the restaurant, and Megan from Megan Conda, she had a smaller car at the time, right? And we're all just all trying to help me out, right? We're trying to figure out where the wheelchair could go. Megan's car was just way too small. That's what they're saying, like the wheelchair and everything. She had one of, like these like girly cars, or I don't know what kind of car it was, but anyway. Um, so I went to Garrett had a rental van and he just threw the wheelchair in there and they just pushed me around and just just and I all of a sudden they brought me to the
Funny
restaurant.
thing about Garrett is the last picture that I ever took
Yeah,
on two legs was with Garrett Hartle and Adam Wickens. I was at
we're talking about both the yeah I went to
I
dinner
was
that
at
night.
Rick Fest when
Yeah,
the bypass failed in the left leg, and I was actually literally at Rick Fest at Garrett's place,
Garrett's one of the
and my
best
leg
people
was
ever. Yeah,
killing me. Okay,
yeah,
and but Garrett was having the barbecue and everything, and
yeah.
the last picture I took was, and a matter of fact, I'll insert it into this portion of the thing.
Okay.
Was me, Garrett Hartle, Blake Stewart, and Adam Wickens. Yeah, it was a great time, and yeah, I like Adam. I got to see
You
Adam
talk
when
about
I was
Blake Stewart? Is that the guy that makes the logos?
yeah Stewart Design.
I haven't seen him in so long, but my first experience with him, don't ever drive with him. He is
I
the
told him,
craziest driver
dude,
ever.
I know, dude. He was. We were in his new Tesla, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He gunned it to the point where I actually flew backwards.
Dude,
Like,
I did the same. I was in the back seat though. I was like, oh my god, I was fly. He was, yeah. That's one thing. If you put that out there, don't drive
great.
with him.
Yeah, no.
But beyond that, Garrett, great man.
Yeah. I love Garrett Hartle. I love Adam too. Adam
Oh
just
yeah.
picked up that deal with Chewy, and that's why
Yep, that's where we went. We went out to dinner with him.
he was at Pomona. So um, yeah, I'm actually going to see. We got invited back to the CRBE in September, so
Okay.
we're going back up to Canada, and I'm sure I'll be seeing Adam and hanging out with him then too.
Oh,
So
definitely a great person, man. And like even like I was talking about his wife, like how she's doing her own thing too now, where she's doing her social media, and dude,
right,
she usually when you have I would say Adam's pretty famous, right, in the reptile
yeah,
world.
yeah,
She doesn't need that, man. Her quality of her videos and all that stuff that she puts out is like she's doing her own grind, and it's cool to see that he found a wife that's in the hobby that likes animals,
right,
that's into reptiles, and
mhm,
that's pursuing her own and paving her own path, basically.
right, yeah, yeah. No, she grinds as hard as he does.
Exactly. Probably, I would say she does an even better job on Instagram versus him, right? Because he got to YouTube and all that.
Right, right. Yeah. I
Um,
would definitely think so. I mean,
but so on the way back from Pomona, I would highly recommend if you're not a good person that doesn't sleep well, if you're driving alone and you're amputee, I guess it could go for anybody, right? It doesn't amputee or not, but there's a lot more risk factors into our condition, I guess you would say.
right,
Um, so coming back, I wanted to not miss. I wanted to go to the Sunday show and hang out with my friends as long as possible. I should have left at a reasonable hour, like more daytime driving versus nighttime
right,
driving.
Right.
I ended up leaving, I think, close to 4. I think the show was closed at 5, maybe 4. Okay, maybe it was 3 to 4. I left like probably 45 minutes from the show ending. And I should have left like 1 o'clock, right, or noon, or stayed
Right.
a couple hours and called it. But I wanted to linger on, and there's one thing. It was because I was able to hold a croc monitor, which a lot of people are not able to hold a croc monitor ever.
I
It's a lot of
saw the
risk into.
pictures. Yeah.
It's a lot of risk. Not everyone wants to do it. It's because there is a risk factor into it. Because yeah, it could be a tame monitor, but all it takes is one. You're at a show and could get triggered by seeing something it doesn't like or a scent it doesn't like, and it could just take it out on you, right? It could have mauled
Right.
me. It could have took a bite on me. But anyway, I trusted it. It was a dream. I put myself in all kinds of risk, anything like that too. So I said, I want that picture, so I waited to get that video and all that content for that, and that's what pushed it to like 4 o'clock. Now I'm leaving and driving at like almost close to 4:30 to 5, and I got a 6 hour drive. So my estimated time was like 10:30 till I think it got me. It made my drive 10 o'clock to be home, right? 5 hour drive, 5 hours something drive, but it took me 7 hours because as I was driving, I started getting tired.
Right.
Because I got lack of sleep the day going there. Then I got lack of sleep because I stayed up all night with the guys and everyone going out,
Right.
and then woke up early to go to the show and pack up my things because you got to be out of the hotel at a certain time anyway. So I my drive, I had to take so much pit stops. That was probably my like scariest drive and not the smartest. Now I know how it is driving alone. That was my first alone trip. That is my first alone trip that far there and
Right.
back. I've done it with somebody else. I went to LA and back in one day, and he took over the second part of the drive.
Right.
But uh, yeah, doing that, going with lack of sleep and leaving at a late hour is not smart. I think leaving during the day so you have that daylight to help you stay awake and all that. Getting good sleep too. But yeah, I had to take
Oh yeah.
multiple pits. I took a pit stop. I literally told I was on the. I had a friend that could call and reach out to her, and she would keep me up, right? And I'm blabbering about who I don't know how many energy drink stops. That's my thing. When I'm gonna drive, I drink the most energy drinks ever, right?
Right. Right.
I was probably over caffeinated. I look at how many. I probably drank on that car ride alone probably 6 cans. I couldn't count it, and these are like not the like these are like the high milligram caffeine ones, right?
Right.
I was just trying to stay awake, and literally well, it was like I was an hour out or hour 20 out from my house, and I was like I was struggling to stay awake. I was like this is not safe, so let me pull over. I literally shut my eyes for not even a minute, and I fell asleep at a
Right.
truck stop. And I fell asleep, woke up about 45 minutes later, and made the rest of the car ride home. But that Pomona trip was like a lesson learned. Usually don't go alone or leave during certain hours and get a good amount of sleep beforehand.
Right.
Even though if it's 5 or 6 hours, it doesn't sound like much. But I'm a person that struggles with like sleep and like, and all that. And I'm in my condition where in the wheelchair, the one leg and all that stuff. But it might be easier to drive because I think I have leg cramps when I drive too far.
Mm.
But I don't know if it's because I'm reaching over versus you wouldn't reach over. You're just driving normal,
Right.
right, with
Right.
your
I'm
right
just
leg.
normally driving because of my right
But
leg.
you could still get cramps. But I tend to get cramps a little bit more, I think. And as if it gets too cold in the car, I like to keep it cold because if it's warm, I fall asleep. I
Right.
just get
Right.
uncomfortable. I have to keep the car a little bit cool, and having it too cold with the leg could cause the leg to like really stiffen up and all that, and So it's one thing to think about if you're gonna make a long drive.
Well, that's the whole thing. This Saturday, I'm going to the Long Island Reptile
Yeah,
Expo, which is only about 45 minutes from me.
gotcha.
Um, but I'm still going to get a hotel because I don't want to drive home after,
It's not.
you,
Yeah,
you know.
that getting a
And
hotel, I staying at somewhere that's affordable is way worth it.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I have a show that night also.
Okay,
So I have a live show that I have to do. So basically, I'm just gonna. I got a little mobile rig here. I'm just gonna bring that to the hotel and do the show from the hotel, and uh,
gotcha.
and this way just make it easier because overall, I don't want to spend 10, 12 hours at a show just to drive home. When it's getting dark, and I don't like driving at night anyway these days. So I
Night
just
driving
want
is
to
the
keep,
worst if you're driving
yeah.
far. Yeah,
I'd rather just drive, 10 o'clock in the morning until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
yeah,
because winter, I'll drive all day during that. But yeah, yeah, I just think the hotel is going to be worth it, and it just makes you feel like you're going somewhere, even though you're only 45 minutes from home. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Definitely.
and
Like
actually,
yeah.
uh, this place we're going on Saturday, it's actually an airplane museum, right? So
Oh,
they
that's cool.
actually have like World War II fighter jets, World War One jets,
Yeah,
parked in the facility, and the vendors set up under like the nose cones and the planes themselves.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's cool. It's a cool place. I don't want to miss that. Um, and it's a cool place to do the disabled veterans thing because
100%.
Air Force and all that. So it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. But I'm jacking up on emergency and all the other vitamins before I go this time. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
definitely. Like
miss.
anything for rides, it's either because see that's the thing with bathrooms. Yeah, I had to stop for multiple bathroom breaks too with car
Oh yeah,
rides. So going to any shows, I trying to prep like where I could stop. I like there's a if I go on I-5, there's plenty of truck stop, but I always stop at Love's for gas. So it's a Love's gas station. I don't know if you guys have. You guys have
we don't have
what's that?
loves, but I remember loves. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Love's for us, and you guys have the freaking one what's those people? Everyone likes to stop at. Snake Discovery likes to stop at. I forget what
Well, no, no, those are Bucky's. We don't have Bucky's.
Bucky's. You don't have Bucky's where you're
Bucky's.
at?
No, well, I'm the Northeast, so Bucky's is
Gotcha.
more down south. But man, I love me a Bucky's. Okay.
Yeah. So like I never had that stop. Is it what's so popular? Is it the food? What's good about Bucky's versus like any other truck stop?
Well, first of all, it's like it's one of the biggest gas stations in the world. Like every Bucky's is 110 pumps. Okay, so you have 100 pumps to pick from. But once
Gotcha.
you go inside, it's
Yeah.
like it's like a Walmart. Okay, so it's not some little dingy three
Oh, so
aisles
it's
of chips and Slim Jims.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a
Basically,
whole
you
shopping center.
total shopping center. You walk in and they're barbecuing right there. They have this giant, like 50-foot area where they're barbecuing and they have vents going up and they're making
Oh,
brisket.
so their actual food is like fresh. It's not
Oh
something
yeah.
that's frozen.
Oh no, it's made right there. There's you don't get any
Oh,
sandwiches at Bucky's, right?
so it's
Um,
not like Love's gas station. They just throw some like frozen stuff
no,
in.
no, it is it is an experience. And Bucky's claim to fame is that they have the cleanest bathrooms in America. And
Okay.
if you
You
go,
know what? A lot of truck stops, like I said, if I'm compared to Love's, their bathroom's pretty good. I prefer to use their bathroom versus, of course, any other gas station. But truck stops, I feel like don't have horrible bathrooms compared to like little like restaurants.
I
If you go to
agree with you
McDonald's.
there. I definitely agree with you there. However, it is nothing compared. The best stop bathroom is nothing compared to a Bucky's.
Yeah.
Like Bucky's bathroom, you feel like a king when you go in there. Okay, there's marble, there's columns, there's just it's insane.
And do they
Um,
have showers there too?
I
Like
I
I know
don't
Love's has showers.
I don't know if they do. I don't remember. I never even thought of one because I was so amazed at the
Yeah,
cleanliness.
yeah. And there's no reason for you to shower in there if you if you're gonna go to a place that's only so
Yeah,
far or whatever.
it's just an amazing place. But Bucky's is definitely an experience. If you have a chance to go to one, like if you ever go to a show in Texas, like the Dallas
Yeah.
show, uh, Bucky's is the place to
Okay.
be. Period.
Yeah.
That and thing that you guys got there that I missed the most is In and Out.
Oh yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna say In and Out, man. But yeah, if we
Yeah.
talk about burgers, all that, like yeah, we got In and Out, but you guys have a few. Is it a Wahlburger or Whataburger?
Well,
I think
again,
you have.
that's South. That's Texas. Whataburger.
Oh, so that's the
Yeah,
thing. I'm not too familiar with what you guys on
we
your
don't
side.
have anything here as far as fast
No.
food goes. We got like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell.
I can tell
That's
you
it.
though, In and Out. I don't know what could be In and Out, man. I have not had it. Okay. What burgers I prefer? I know this is off topic now of what our whole podcast is about, but if I could cook my own burger, I prefer my burgers and putting what I want like at home versus going to In and Out. If I'm not lazy, you know that. But I like
Right.
the homemade burgers, the smash burgers I make at home versus going out. But In and Out burger, you can't beat that, man. That's the best thing, you know. I
The
would highly
only thing
recommend it.
that even compares to an In and Out burger is Carl's Jr. Okay, and
I don't know about Cards is good.
I I love me a double double or a famous star and Chris cut fries. Chris
Crisp
cut
cut
fries
fries.
are the shit. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, there's definitely.
I like Chick-fil-A's crisp cut fries.
See, I don't like Chick Fil A's Chris cut fries as much as Carl's Jr.'s.
But you need the sauce though. You need the sauce at the
Right, right.
Chick-fil-A. If you have it by itself, it's okay, but you have the Chick-fil-A sauce with it, that's what makes it better. But yeah.
We just got our first Chick Fil A here about 20 minutes from me.
Oh really?
Uh, 3 months
Yeah,
ago.
your spicy chicken sandwich is really good
Oh,
there.
so good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, no, no, it's I'm a fast food junkie. Um, I like Taco Bell. Okay,
Dude, I love Taco Bell. I try to stay in a strict diet because us being handicapped, we gotta really be careful what we eat, right?
right.
Um, because we could splurge, and like you said, you have all. If I was exposed to DoorDash or any of these food delivery things, I used to like. Man, I'm right now. I'm bad on drinking soda. My dad has been buying soda more lately, right? And I've been drinking a lot of Coke lately, and I'm trying
Right,
not to drink so much because we could get overweight so easy.
right.
And like I'm trying to limit it, like all the fast food I take, my intake. But like, yesterday I got Taco Bell, and I had to get the box because I need to get
Right,
I get my best bang for my buck. I can eat a lot of food, so it's like
right.
I'm not gonna get these little meals. I'm gonna get like the boxes now, and just it could become a lot. So, but yeah, Taco Bell definitely is one of my favorites.
I like Taco Bell not because of the food. Okay, I like them because they're
This,
honest. They're an honest company, right?
yeah,
But like 10 years ago, some uh, some college took out a full page ad in USA Today and said Taco Bell is only 30% meat, right? Like actual meat, right?
yeah.
So Taco Bell got pissed off and took out a full page ad in a bigger newspaper and said, fuck you, we're 80. Okay. So still not admitting that they were 100% meat. Okay.
Yeah,
20% sawdust and gelatin, right? But that's an honest company that they're like, we're 80% meat. You get us when you're drunk or you're just poor. Okay. That's
yeah.
when you get us. Um, but I live off of Uber Eats and DoorDash, but I never order like a chain like
But
off
you know,
DoorDash or
because
anything.
it can be very pricey if you're just gonna order something like because that a lot of people in our condition they do use these food delivery apps, right? Because it's easier.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't drive, right? So they have to depend on these apps and all that. So the thing is, though, it can become very pricey if you're just ordering a few things versus if you go there in
Oh
person,
yeah.
right? So if
Oh,
you're
without
ordering
a
like
doubt.
a simple meal, it could go from paying $10, but if you go on the app, it goes up to 20 something dollars just for something
Oh,
that you
but
would have got.
and now is the worst time too because it's freezing cold out, right? So I
Yeah.
actually
Did their
I
prices go up over there if it's snowing?
no, the problem is that they still let these people deliver your food on bikes. Okay.
Oh, how do they do it on bikes? Oh, but
I,
if it's not extreme snow, right?
yeah, but it's still it's 4 degrees out and not
It's
snowing,
still cold, and your food is gonna
And
get cold.
I did a post. I was like, attention Uber Eats. If I'm gonna pay $40 for a bagel, okay,
Yeah.
I would like for it to at least be hot. Could you please stop bike delivery? Okay. Yeah, but then I feel bad for the people who are working Uber Eats on bikes.
They can't get a license. Half those people
Right,
that
exactly. But man, I get pissed off when my food gets here cold and it's,
That's understandable, right? That's everyone wants their food. If you're paying
yeah,
for the food, you want it to
paying
be good,
sixty
right? You want
dollars for two slices of pizza. You get mad if it's freezing cold when it gets here.
cold
You
pizza
know,
is the worst. I mean, I still eat cold pizza the next day, but you want it fresh for that initial, like,
right, right. Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah, it's
You want
so
that cheese pull when you get that, if you get a cheese pizza or pepperoni, whatever.
yeah. You get it and it's frozen, and you're like, dude, like,
Yeah.
don't you have one of those little
The
uh
warmers. I
the
think that's
warmers?
what they. Yeah, I think that they started to do that more often.
Yeah, but it's still, I probably spent $2,200 on Uber Eats last month.
Oh
So
wow.
it's yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it can. Do you know? I like back when I was living at my sister's house, because like I said, where I live now, they don't have any of those, right? Which I'm thankful
right,
for, because I would waste a lot of money on that. Um, where I'm limited to what I keep at the house, which
right,
I only eat. Like, if I'm on a strict diet, I eat mainly eggs, chicken, and that's a majority of what my meats are or my protein is, and then I'll just
right.
have rice with all that, and I'll kind of keep it limited. And I do need like that occasional like sweet tooth, and I'll go with peanut butter and crackers or something like that. But I keep it very basic. But man, like the sodas is my weakness. Like that's one thing that I try to watch out for. So
I'm a
it
diet
gives you that. I'm
whore.
getting that bloated
So
face now, which you could tell. So I'm trying like now as I get into the summertime, I'm trying to be careful on what I keep at the house and all that,
right.
and try to cut back on the amount of my bread intake and all that.
Yeah, I try not to do bread. I do a lot of water and a lot of and Diet
I don't
Pepsi.
drink enough. I don't
Water
drink
and
enough
Diet
water.
Pepsi.
I do more. I do more coffee.
Oh,
I drink
see,
this.
I don't do coffee, but I decided, a couple of months ago, because I was just drinking only Diet Pepsi, right? And
Okay.
like that's it. And I was
Does
like, all
Diet
right,
Pepsi have a lot of caffeine in it? Or what's the reason why people like diet caffeine or Diet Cokes, right?
I don't
Because
know. I just
I don't like
drink
the taste of it.
the cherry Diet Pepsi, and I love it, right?
Oh, so you have the cherry, so you have a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
more flavor to it.
But I was like, this is still not good for you, right? So I was like, I'm gonna do half water, half Diet Pepsi,
Ooh,
and
how's
that's
that? Is that a little
no,
funky? Is
no,
a little
not
water?
the same thing. I
Oh, You
I
drink
would
one.
just drink the same amount
You reach
of
out for water. I'll tell you that's really hard to do. So if you start off, it's better to do majority water at first, because once you drink that Pepsi or drink that soda, it's your body doesn't want to drink water. Yeah, you get dehydrated, but it prefers the soda. It's hard to
right.
switch over. It's hard to go back. I feel like
Yeah, I just make sure that the water is ice cold all the time.
it has to be like ice cold. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it can't be like room temperature water. I can't drink room temperature water.
Yeah,
Um,
for someone
so
like me too, like I don't go to the gym as frequent now. This year, I'm gonna start frequently going, but like I'm slowly trying to get back into it.
right,
But my diet has to be there. Of course, in my frequency, my workouts and all that. So that's another thing in the future podcast, possibly the next podcast. I want to go over it is a little bit on the gym, on like what I do,
oh yeah, yeah, I
and
love it. Yeah,
so I think that's what I think our next podcast should be about. So if anybody, I'll probably give a little few tips of what I do at the gym and the certain exercises I can't do, what I do, what I do for cardio, which because we're limited to cardio and all that at the gym also.
right. Okay, that'd be great. Um, all right, I would say that we went about an hour. I would say
we
we should.
went over we went over because
We didn't have
the
much
first.
prepared this time because I've been sick. Benny's had a hell of a month.
Yeah.
Um, so, but we will be back, for episode 4, and we're going to talk about uh, the gym experience as an amputee. I'm gonna because I'm really interested in that because I want to start going to the gym, and
Yeah. It's
uh,
beneficial no matter what, if you're in our condition or any condition.
right,
Gym
right.
is very beneficial.
Yeah, so I definitely want to give that a shot. So I'm looking forward to learning new things from my boy Benny. Um, Benny, thank you so much for doing this with me again. Thank you
Always,
everybody
man.
for hanging
Thank you.
out with us, and we will see you next month. Take it
All
easy,
right.
guys.
See you guys later.